Here I have a hammer and a plier. These two tools are useful, but try to use a hammer when you need a plier and you get a big mess. The same is true with words. God gave us two tools in Proverbs 26, verse 4 and 5. But they're for different jobs. In Proverbs 26:4, it says, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him." And then the next verse says, "Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes." Wait a second. One verse says, "Don't answer the fool." The very next verse says, "Answer the fool." Did Solomon change his mind in 5 seconds? No. The Holy Spirit inspired this because both are true, but each has a different mission. In verse 4, is for careful, precise work that avoids damage, like a set of pliers. Sometimes the fool's words are bait to drag you into a heated, pride-driven argument. If you engage on their terms, you already lost. Verse 4 tells us to walk away so we don't become just like them. The next verse, 5, is for firm, decisive action that prevents harm, like a hammer. Sometimes silence allows lies or deception to stand, making the fool think that they're right. Verse 5 calls us to respond, not to win an argument, but to protect truth for those that are listening. And, to protect truth and those listening. In biblical times, when Jesus spoke with the Pharisee, sometimes he remained silent, like in Luke 23:9, before Herod. In verse 4 in action, that's what that was, verse 4 in action. And then in Matthew 22:29, other times he answered boldly to expose error. And that's verse 5 in action. We can see at times Paul ignore personal insults. That's verse 4 in action. Other times he reasoned and debated to defend the gospel. That's verse 5 in action. So verse 4 moments where Proverbs 26:4 would apply is when you're online and someone is mocking your faith with sarcasm, not seeking the truth. You disengage, protect your peace, and keep your witness intact. And an example of verse 5 in action would be you're at work and someone confidently says, "The Bible is full of contradiction. That's why no one takes it seriously." Here, silence might make others believe the statement is true. You respond calmly and say, "Actually, the Bible is remarkably consistent, even though it was written over 1,500 years ago by 40 different authors, I'd be happy to share examples. So the key principle here is that verse 4 of Proverbs 26 protects you from becoming like the fool, and verse 5 protects others from becoming like the fool. So in verse 4 is when you don't answer. And you don't answer when, for example, when they're baiting you into an emotional argument. They twist your words no matter what you say. Their responding will only damage your testimony if you respond. Or God gives you no peace about speaking. In verse 5 of Proverbs 26, where you do answer the folly, the fool, is when the false statement could mislead others. It's when the person seems open to correction. It's when you can respond with gentleness and respect. It's when you feel prompted by the Holy Spirit to speak. So the next time you face a foolish comment, remember you have two tools. Okay? You have the pliers and you have the hammer. The pliers for restraint, of restraint, and the hammer of truth. Ask the Holy Spirit which to pick up, because sometimes silence speaks the loudest, and other times truth must be spoken boldly.